The following is a live presentation from Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Raise your hand if you've seen Ed Figueroa and Frank Tanana pitch before, because that's who you're going to see today. They face off against each other. A big one this week to start the weekend of June 9th, 10th, and 11th, 1978. Today we do the Yankees and the Angels from Anaheim. Frank Tanana against Eddie Figueroa. Tomorrow, I forgot who. We picked games. It all just kind of blends together. Oh, it's Cincinnati and somebody, or Pittsburgh, I think, is the game tomorrow. And then I forgot who I picked for the next day. But anyway, so lots of baseball coming up for you the next 3 days here on the channel. And don't forget, on Wednesday, get your comments in on any previous game of this replay. If you have any questions about Action PC Sports, I'll be taping that video on Wednesday. All right, so the matchup here is, as I said, Frank Tanana and Ed Figueroa on a windy and warm night in Southern California. 77 degrees, and the wind is being blocked a little bit by the Big A scoreboard at 17, directly in from left field. So the Yankees are in first place. The Angels are chasing the white-hot Kansas City Royals in second place in the American League West. So it's time for baseball. Let's get to it on a Sunday afternoon, as Retro Sports Network presents 1978 Major League Replay Baseball, or Baseball Replay, presented by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the internet. There you go. So here's some snorting for you. For your sports simulations and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify or Spreaker or iTunes or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. And so Frank Tanana apparently gets a commission for pitching in this replay. He is 7-1 with a 2.12 ERA and should go about 125 pitches, as the Angels hope to upset the Yankee apple cart on a warm Friday night here in Anaheim. Tenacious Earl, by the way, is once again our 74th follower. Robbie got an ad for Chick-fil-A. That sounds good. A burrito. So Tanana is 7-1. With an ERA of 2.12, he is making his 13th start of the year, and it only seems like every time he starts, it's on the replay. His last time out was against the Red Sox on the 4th. He went 9 innings, allowed 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 1 and struck out 8 in the loss. So 97 2/3 innings, 77 hits allowed, 6 homers, 27 runs, 23 earned. He walked 31 and struck out 65. I believe, and Mr. Mike will be able to tell you for sure, that when the Angels swung east after this homestand was the infamous 17 strikeout game at Yankee Stadium against Ron Guidry. The Gator was good. Lineup for the Yankees this evening. Mickey Rivers will lead off and play center field. Willie Randolph will bat second and play second. Angel fans in full force here in the stream right now. Thurman Munson will catch and bat third. Reggie Jackson, the future Angel, will play right and clean up. Lou Piniella in left will bat fifth. Chris Chambliss at first will bat sixth. Craig Dendles at third will bat seventh. Heathcliff Johnson, and that's his real name, it's Heathcliff or Cliff, will DH and bat 8th, and Bucky Dent will bat 9th at short. Defensively for the Angels, Joe Rudy, a 6 and a 3 in left, Lyman Bostock, a 5 and a 6 in center, Kenny Landreau, a 3 and a 7 in right. Carney Lansford, a 6 at third, Dave Chalk back at short is a 5, Bobby Grich is a 9 at second, and Ron Jackson is a 6 at first. Brian Downing is a 6 and a 5 behind the plate. And Tanana is an 8 on the mound and should not commit an error. And I forgot if I said that he's a fly ball pitcher plus. And that fastball of his tops out at about 88. Tanana's still a kid at this point. He's 24. Mickey Rivers at 328, 4 homers and 20 RBI. Playing for the bunt. Jackson and Lansford coming in. And Rivers strikes out. He got him on a 1-2 on the inside corner. And there's one away for Willie Randolph at 278. 2 homers and 16 RBI. Mark Forsberg could not stand Tommy Lasorda. I don't think his pitchers could either, which is why he pulled for the Yankees in the World Series. I rooted for the Dodgers, but I grew up a Red Sox fan, so I had reason. Pitch to Randolph, ball 4. Thank you, sir. So Randolph is on with a walk. First walk by Tanana. And now bring up Thurman Munson at 290, 2 homers and 33 RBI. Randolph goes. Doubt that is line foul on the hit and run. And so it's a ball and a strike. Somebody from Azusa made that catch. Throw to first. Randolph is back. So the Yankees at 34-19. This is game 54 for them. Game 55 for the Angels. Pitch to Munson is a ground ball to first. Jackson throws it to Chalk for 1. Back to first. Is this a 3-6-3? Yes, it is. The pitcher's best friend. And Tanana says, thank you, sir. Half an inning in the books. No runs, no hits, nobody left after 1 half. No score. So Eddie Figueroa is 6-5 on the year for the Yankees. Has an ERA of 3. He has 7 complete games and has 11 starts. This is start number 12. Epic Dave, how you doing, Mr. Little? He did a 3-part pay-per-view stream last night, by the way. You should go back and find it on YouTube. Figueroa's last start was June 5th. Against the Mariners, so that would be Monday or Sunday, I think. 5 1/3 innings, 11 hits, 9 runs, 8 earned. He's walked 3 and struck out 2. And so that was a loss to Seattle. In 90 innings, he's allowed 83 hits, 5 home runs, 34 runs in total, 30 earned. Not a problem, my friend. 34 walks and 31 strikeouts. And he is a fastball pitcher at 85, and he'll give up the fly ball. Mr. Little beats my butt often at Words with Friends. Landreau will lead it off for the Angels. Bobby in right field. Bobby Grich will bat second and play second. Bostock is the center fielder. He'll go third. Joe Rudy cleans up and left. Don Baylor is your DH. He'll bat fifth. Papa Jack, Ron Jackson is at first. He'll go sixth. Carney Lansford, the third baseman, will bat seventh. Dave Chalk, back from his injury, is at short. He'll go eighth. And Brian Downing behind the plate will bat ninth. Tanana threw 13 pitches in his half of the first. Defensively for New York, Lou Piniella is a 6-2 in left. Mickey Rivers an 8-5 in center. Reggie Jackson is 6-8 in right. Craig Dentals is a 10 at third. Bucky Dent a 6 at short. Willie Randolph is 7 at second. Chris Chambliss a 10 at first. Thurman Munson is a 9 and an 8 behind the plate, and Figueroa is an 8 on the mound. Landreau at 190. No homers and 4 RBI. Pitch from Figueroa, and Landreau sends this one into left center. Rivers is there, 1 away. Mark made a bet with a client of his dad. We put in a crawl space over at his house if the Dodgers took the Yankees down 2-0 and won a 6-pack of Pepsi from him. And the Dodgers did indeed win. Was it 77 or 78 they won the first 2 games? I think it was 78 they won the first 2 games, and the Yankees took 4 out of the last 4. Bobby Grich is at 292. Mark will tell me. 5 homers and 27 RBI. Pitch from Figueroa. Line drive, left field, base hit. So the Angels have a hit. Grich on first for Lyman Bostock. At 311, Lorenzo. Good morning to you, too. No homers and 27 RBI. Pitch from Figueroa. Bostock up the middle. Figueroa sneers it. Randolph for 1. Over to Chambliss. That's 2. So it's always the pitcher's best friend, and that will retire the side. Angels get a hit, but is erased on the double play. No runs, a hit, no errors. After 1, no score. That brings up, another Chipotle commercial for Appa Chatter. How are you? Go get your burritos today, for sure. So Reggie, Piniella, and Chambliss. Too bad that Reggie bar is not. 78 against the Dodgers. Yeah, I thought that was the case. So 285 for Reggie and 12 homers and 39 RBI and a case full of cold Reggie bars. Tanana delivers, and there's a liner in the center field that will drop in front of Bostock. And that's the first Yankee hit. So nobody out for Piniella. 288, no homers, and 19 RBI. Jackson takes a small lead off of first. Pitch to Piniella, ball 4. So Tanana kind of struggling with the control. Full count was low. And Michigan Man 82, Mr. Forsberg says 4 straight, and the Pepsi was great. As a Coke person, I'll take your word for it. Chris Chambliss at 302. 3 homers and 32 RBI. Struck him out. He got him on a 2-2. At 89, and there's 1 out for Nettles at 333. 10 homers and 34 RBI. So 2 on, 1 out, top the second. Pitch from Tanana. Nettles, line drive to Chalk. And there's 2 away. Cliff Johnson. Wonder if this is one of the reasons why Billy Martin got canned. 151. That's his batting average. That's not a pint of Jägermeister. 3 homers and 11 RBI. Jackson on second. Piniella on first. 2 out. Pitch to Johnson is a ground ball at Chalk. Over to first. That's a long throw. Cliff beat it out. How about that? That got caught in the grass, and Chalk got a late start on it. And the Yankees have him loaded and 2 out for Bucky Dent. Bucky at 231. 3 home runs and 13 RBI. So the Yankees have him loaded here. Reggie on third, Piniella on second, and Johnson on first. Tanana scuffling here, and Dent lines that one into right field. Jackson will score. Landro will throw home for Piniella, and it got away from Downing. And so everybody else moves up 90. So it's 2-0 New York. And the Yankees get 2. The single scored 1. The throwing error by Landro scored the other. Cliff Johnson moves to third. Bucky will take second. And there's still 2 out for Rivers. So through 9 batters, Tanana an inning and 2/3, 3 hits, 44 pitches. He has given up 2 earned runs. He has walked 2 and struck out 2, and still has 2 on. Rivers struck out to start the ball game. They had a Pepsi plant where Mark Forsberg grew up, and Coke was a 4-letter word called Coke. And Johnny Bench used to call that batting average I-51, and the guys would yell, "Get off the interstate." I suppose, yeah, that's not a good one. So here's Rivers. Pitch from Tanana. Struck him out. He went right down Broadway on an off-speed pitch at 77 to retire the side. But the Yankees get 2 runs, 3 hits, and an error. After an inning and a half, it's the Yankees 2, the Angels nothing. So Joe Rudy, Don Baylor, and Ron Jackson to face Figueroa in the second. Rudy at 304. 4 homers and 19 RBI. Pitch to Rudy. Into right, gone. So Figueroa grooved one, and Rudy put it in the bleachers and right to make it 2-1. That's his 5th of the year. Reggie gave chase, but all he could do on that line drive is turn and watch it go, and it's now 2-1 New York. So let's just show you the standings overall. California chasing the Royals. The Royals have won 10 straight to take a 2.5 game lead in the West. Angels have already played 30 games at home. Long homestand. They'll go and do Fenway in New York on the road. In the East, the Yankees 3.5 over Baltimore, 5.5 over Milwaukee, and 6 over Boston. The Yankees have won 2 straight. They are not a good team at home, 13-10, but it's early yet. And Kansas City jumped their winning streak to 10 thanks to sweeping Texas on Thursday. Dodgers took advantage of their win over Montreal to go a half game up over Houston. And Pittsburgh's lead over Philadelphia is 3.5. Milwaukee is 4. Are we talking about Pascual Perez here? As far as what the Atlanta pitcher with the nickname of I-85, Don Baylor at 259, 13 homers and 40 RBI. Pitch to Baylor, struck him out. So he got caught looking on a fastball in the inside corner, and there's one away. For Ron Jackson at 352, 3 triples, 2 homers, and 14 RBI. Pitch from Figueroa, ground ball to short. Dent is going to pick it up, a non-even throw. That really was Craig Dentle's play. Bucky just kept moving over to his right, and it got in Dentle's way, and that was an infield single. Yep, and the reason why Perez got the nickname I-85 is because he got lost on the way to the stadium. True story, and was late for a start. Carney Lansford at 333, a homer and 14 RBI. Throw to first, Papa Jack back. Now we'll worry about Lansford, and he'll send that one into center. Rivers doesn't even have to move for the out. 2 out for Chalk. Dave at 245. 2 doubles and 10 RBI. Good morning, Mr. Mike. 2-1 Yankees. Bottom of the second. Yep, Pascual Perez. Throw to first, Jack back again. Now he'll go home, Chalk into left. Piniella will make the catch to retire the side. A run on 2 hits thanks to the solo shot by Rudy. After 2, it's the Yankees 2, the Angels 1. So Randolph, Munson, and Jackson to face Tanana in the third. Randolph walked his first time up. And he'll bunt foul. Downing let it roll foul, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. I-85 circles Atlanta. Most of the big cities that are inland have those bypass highways. In Boston, it's pretty much I-95. Pitch to Randolph. Struck him out. He fooled him on a break on a fastball at 86. And so he looked at it, and that's the 4th strikeout for Tanana. Thurman Munson grounded into a double play his first time up. Well, Pascual Perez is dead, sadly. So he might haunt Atlanta, but he can't circle it anymore. Pitch to Munson. Struck him out. Tanana got him to swing and miss on a fastball, and that's 5. And that'll bring up Reggie, who singled and scored his first time up. That was in the second. 2-1 Yankees top the third. Pitch to Reggie. Struck out the side. Good morning, good afternoon. And that cutter was swung on and missed for good night. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 2.5, the Yankees 2, the Angels 1. So Downing, Landreau, and Grich. The wind now blowing left to right at 13. Downing at 191. That would be the interstate that kind of goes through the eastern part of Vermont. I-91 through Springfield and Hartford all the way to New Haven. a homer, and 12 RBI. Figueroa deals, and Downing slices that one into left center for a single. 4th hit for the Angels. Downing's not going to steal. So through 9 batters, 2+ innings for Figueroa. 40 pitches, that's not great. 4 hits. The solo shot by Rudy was earned, and Figueroa has struck out 1. Landro's 0 for 1. Pitch to Kenny. And to left. Piniella. Gone! He went back. I thought that was going to stay in the yard. So the Angels move up 3-2 as that one just kept going. And Piniella ran out of real estate. So they lead it 3-2. That didn't look like that was going off the bat, but by the time that Piniella got to the wall, there was a wall there. So the Angels pull ahead. And now I'll bring up Bobby Grich, who singled his first time up. So this one is not turning into a pitcher's duel. Pitch to Grich. Liner into right center. That's going to get to the wall, but Grich is going to be held with a single as Reggie Jackson cut it off. Well, brings up Bostock, who's 0 for 1. So nobody out. Bottom of the 3rd. The Angels have scored 2 here in the 3rd. On the shot by Kenny Landro in the left center. Pitch to Lyman. Liner to left. Piniella, 1 out. Brings up Joe Rudy. He hit a laser in the right in the 2nd for a homer. And that got the Angels on the board. Hope wherever you are, live on Twitch or on tape at YouTube, that you and your family are safe. It's a rainy day here in Vermont. Not very warm. Kind of one of those raw days that you get this time of year. Throw the first Grich back. So now the Figueroa will work on Rudy. And Joe hits this one in the right. Jackson comes in to make the catch. Grich will retreat back to first. I know some of you in either Dave's chats or some of the other things saying it's been really warm in the south. Appachatter had, well, he just told me it was 73 and sunny so far, 887. Our dear friend Bobby Catalano said it was in the mid-90s in her part of Florida. Don Baylor struck out his first time up. Throw to first, Grich is back. So 2 out, 3-1 Angels here in the 3rd. Baylor into left. Piniella going back, and he'll watch it go. Baylor has homered, and it's 5-2. And Eddie Figueroa's done. 2 2/3 innings, and that'll do it. Kenny Clay coming in. We got a pitching change. This game coming to you from Anaheim Stadium in beautiful Southern California. High 80s for Mark in North Carolina. This is the 14th appearance for Kenny Clay. He is 2-0 with a 4.05 ERA. He can throw 75 pitches. He last went on the 5th, 2/3 of an inning against Seattle, and he got lit up like a Christmas tree. 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned. He walked 1 and struck out none. 33 innings, 34 hits, 3 homers, 16 runs allowed, 15 earned. He has walked 15 and struck out 20. That fastball tops out at 86. And he is a ground ball pitcher. Cold front's coming through Texas, says Robbie. That time of year for it. You're still in the wet season. And I'm going to take a drink, and then we'll bat Papa Jack as Kenny Clay takes his warm-up pitches. Dave Little says still in the mid-40s. That's what it is here, Dave. Cloudy and rainy in the glorious state of Wisconsin. Pitch to Jackson is into left field. Piniella will corral it, and that will retire the side. But 2-run homers by Kenny Landreau and Don Baylor, plate 4. 4 runs, 4 hits, no errors. After 3, California 5, the Yankees 2. So Tanana has been handed a lead. He'll face Piniella, Chambliss, and Nettles to start the 4th. Lou walked and scored in the 2nd. Pitch from Tanana is into center. Bostock goes back 1 away. Ballpark effects, lefties are neutral as far as batting average. Righties get a 6% advantage. Lefties, as far as home runs are concerned, plus 16. Righties, minus 11%. Stay away from any woman that has those measurements. Chris Chambliss struck out his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Pitch from Tanana into left. Rudy, 2 out. Brings up Nettles, who's 0 for 1. 3 hits for the Bombers, 7 for the Halos. Yankees have left 2 on, California 1. Pitch to Nettles, struck him out. So Tanana's now throwing strikes. He got him to swing and miss at an 87-mile-an-hour pitch. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Nothing to cross. 5-2 Angels. So Lansford, Chalk, and Downing to face Clay. Coming in of relief of Eddie Figueroa. And if Figueroa's lucky, he won't get his 6th loss of the year. Lansford's 0 for 1. Little ground ball to short. Dent by the bag at second. Throws to first. And Carney's retired. 1 away. Dave Chalk is 0 for 1. Pirates and Reds, noon tomorrow. From Saturday, the 10th of June, 1978. Or my high school graduation day, minus 11. Chalk into center field. Rivers will pick it up. Dave's running for 2. He's in there. So the Angels have another runner in scoring position, and that's the 8th hit. Brian Downing singled and scored. I believe that came in the 3rd. 1 out. And Kenny Clay hopes to hold it together for the Yankees. Pitch to Downing. Chopper to Dent. Chalk goes back to second. Throw to first. Chipotle again for Appichatter. It seems to be they bought the day. If you're looking for some greasy burritos, Chipotle is the place to go. 2 out for Landreau. Landreau's 2-run shot and the 3rd was his first of the year. In fact, in 81 at-bats, it was his first 2 RBI. No, I'm sorry, his 6 on the year. Read the right column at Mr. Juckett. Okay. Chalk on second, 2 out. Pitch to Landreau is popped up left side. Nettles watches it go foul. In the Yankee dugout, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes. Wednesday, by the way, stick your comments into this or into any other of the game streams. Answering your questions about Appa, or not Appa. Let me rephrase that. I'm looking at Appichatter and I thought of that. We'll be answering your Action PC sports questions Wednesday, right here. I'm not sure Chipotle was around in 1978. You're giving away stuff that doesn't exist yet. Pitch to Landreau. Ground ball to Dent over to Chambliss, and that will retire the side. I'm sure they're much more of a Del Taco crowd anyway. No runs, a hit, no errors. And with 40,000 in the stands, they're not giving that stuff away. California 5, the Yankees 2. So Cliff Johnson singled and found himself on third base before the Yankees' rally died in the 2nd. It'll be Johnson, Dent, and Rivers here on the top of the 5th. Tanana deals, and Johnson strikes out. It got away from Downing. Throw to Jackson for the out. So a K2-3 on the card. And I'll bring up Bucky, who singled his first time up, and Russell has 2 RBI. Never had Del Taco. We had Taco Bell out in New Mexico back when it was more of a regional thing. struck him out. So Dent looked at the cutter for a strike 3 on a full count, and that's 9 for Tanana. 2 out for Mickey Rivers, who was struck out twice. So Tanana, through 18 batters, 84 pitches. You don't need to be quiet. Not at all. 4 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts. Rivers has struck out twice. He's 0 for 2. Pitch from Tanana. He now got him on the collar. He strung on and missed for strike 3. So halfway home, that's 10 for Tanana. And the Yankees go in order. It's still California 5, the Yankees 2. Wonder what you get on the break right now. I didn't run the break, did I? Air. No, I did. Enjoy your ad. Okay, so all 5 runs for the Angels have come on homers. Figueroa got knocked out in the third. 2 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs all earned. He gave up all 3 homers and struck out 1. Tanana has done yeoman's work. 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He's walked 2 and struck out 10. Boost Mobile for app and chatter. Call of Duty, and Dave Little and I are on the same page. He refuses to play any game that requires hand-eye coordination. Absolutely, we're too old for that stuff. Bobby Grich, Lyman Bostock, and Joe Rudy. Sonic. Well, they're 30-second breaks, so they can stuff you with 2 ads. Ooh, that sounds good. We don't have any Sonics around here. Grich has singled twice. He has scored a run. Lorenzo's going, yep, we don't do that either. Pitch to Grich from Clay is a ground ball to Randolph. Willie better hurry. Throws to first for the out. Sonic and Sonic. I'll take my penny any way you can get it. Enjoy your tater tots. Bostock is 0 for 2. He is grounded into a double play. And Clay has thrown 25 pitches in an inning and 2/3. Blow the man down movie. Okay. That sounds like something naughty. Pitch to Bostock is in the center field for a base hit. So that's the second hit allowed by Clay. Brings up Joe Rudy. He hit a laser shot to right in the second. He's 1 for 2. Funimation in the Navy. Lorenzo got Alienware. It's always interesting to see what you guys get. Of course, it's all an amalgamation. So here's a word you don't hear in a Fortnite stream, Lorenzo. Amalgamation of whatever you guys do on the internet. So Robbie must watch a bunch of YouTube stuff because he gets a lot of stuff for mobile episodes and stuff. Pitch from Clay. Rudy struck out. 2-2 just on the outside corner, and that's the first strikeout for Clay. Brings up Baylor. And the other 2-run homer, that was one I believe Piniella just ran out of room. Yep. Clay delivers, and Baylor sends this one deep to left. Back goes Piniella, and that ball is gone. So it's now 7-2 as Baylor hits a second 2-run shot of the night. He has 15. And everybody's screaming for some Del Taco now. He grooved it, and Baylor took advantage. Amalgamation. I think that's what my aunt used to add to my oatmeal. See, I'm one of the, when I do oatmeal, and I do it quite a bit, I'm not one to add milk to it. I am a butter and fake brown sugar type of guy. Ron Jackson's 1 for 2. He's got a single. Robbie admits to watching YouTube. There's nothing wrong with watching YouTube, Robbie. Pitch to Jackson is a ground ball right back to Clay over to first for the out. But the Angels get 2 runs on a second homer by Don Baylor on 2 hits and no errors. We played 5 at 7-2 California. So Tanana shouldn't be blowing this. It'll be Randolph, Munson, and Jackson. Here in the 6th, Willie has walked and struck out. He's 0 for 1. I wonder what amalgamation tastes like. So what did your aunt put in your oatmeal? And then we can figure out exactly what amalgamation is. Pitch to Randolph is a little drag bunt. Lansford will come in and not even throw. What would Robbie's dad do with oatmeal? So Randolph beats out the drag bunt, and that'll bring up Munson, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. 10 hits for the Angels, 4 for the Yankees. And I'm sorry I'm not on MLB TV. But I did watch one once at a Holiday Inn. YouTube, Twitch, and and the MLB TV ads are just nuts. It's the same Paul O'Neill video kicking the ball the first 50 times a game. When do the Santa Anas arrive? I'm not sure when they are. Lorenzo might know. Winds are 12 left to right and it's 72. It is wallpaper paste if you don't put enough water in it. Oh, Lorenzo, cinnamon stick, brown sugar, and she would use the richest, heaviest cream available and raisins. Well, that is the very definition of an amalgamation. I thought you were trying to be a smart aleck there. Oh, that sounds delightful. Absolutely delightful. Like I said, I'm a brown sugar and butter guy myself. My wife will put in nuts and cranberries into hers. Pitch to Munson. Struck him out. That's 11 for Tanana. A 1-2 at the belt. Munson didn't like the call, but he can't argue too much. Yep, you add butter to it. I keep it pretty simple. Reggie Jackson's 1 for 2. Reggie's got a single, a strikeout, and a run scored. When I used to eat the instant stuff out of the packet, apples and cinnamon was my favorite. Maple and brown sugar was the other one. And once in a while, if there's one of those cream ones, I would do the peaches and cream. But I was always partial to the apples and cinnamon. And those 2 flavors of cream of wheat. Pitch to Reggie. Struck him out. That's 12, and that's a season high. So Reggie goes down looking on a 2-2, and that'll bring up Piniella, who is 0 for 1. He has walked and scored. Pitch to Tanana is a fly ball to left. Rudy will track it down the corner and make the catch. The Yankees get a hit, but they don't score. No errors, 5.5 down, 7-2 Angels. So Carney Lansford, Dave Chalk, and Brian Downing to face Clay here. Carnage was 0 for 2. Clay, 42 pitches through 2 1/3. And Carney slaps that one into left field for a base hit. And that's the 11th hit for California. Dave Chalk, 1 for 2. He's got himself a double. Munson and Clay have a few words. Clay's pitch. Chalk strikes out. So whatever Therm said worked because he swung on and missed an 88-mile-an-hour fastball. Second strikeout for Clay and 1 out for Downing. He was 1 for 2. With a run scored. My mother once... I'm going to take a drink first before I tell this story. It's because Lansford played for the Angels. That's why you don't remember him. Angels, of course, would win the division in '79. And Lansford would be shipped to Boston believe that was in the Freddie Lynn trade, if I'm not mistaken. And play third until some kid by the name of Boggs came up. And Lansford found his way to Oakland. I don't know if that was a... you know what? I bet it was a trade. I bet that was in the Tony Armas deal. What'd you have for breakfast? I had half a bagel this morning, thank you very much. That was good. The croissants I ordered didn't come in, but we got bagels. And so Sarah and I split one. Quaker Oats oatmeal growing up. So we talk about making words out of nothing. And I'll change the wording on this because she uses another term. Pitch to Downing is a liner into right field. Lansford will hold at second. So if you're familiar with the term crap ton, or the more profane version of that, someone asked her once, she was on a business trip to Washington, D.C., how many, people made up one of those types of tons, manure ton, for lack of a better word, or cow plop ton. And they counted the group, and there was 16 people in that gaggle. And so that from there on, if there was a group of 16, that was a manure ton. There you go. Landreau is 1 for 3. He hit a 2-run homer, a surprise, his first of the year, in the third, to make it a big lead. Popped up left or right side. Randolph is there. Has it for the out, 2 away. Bobby Grich is 2 for 3. He singled twice and scored. How you doing? Yeah, load, whatever it is. 16. Tribe fan, how are you? Gotta keep it safe for the kiddies for sure. Pitch to Grich. Up the middle. Dent will take it to the bag himself, and that will retire the side. Angels don't get any runs on 2 hits and no errors. We've played 6 at the stadium, 7-2, California. So Tanana, I'm not sure he'll go the distance. There you go, Epic Dave. And now knowing is half the battle. He never knew that there are 16 in a manure ton. And if you did the math, if you took what an average adult weighs and multiply it by 16, I bet you get around 2,000 pounds, which is a ton. And Robbie's right. For social distancing, no, you want them smaller than that. Maybe a quarter of a crap ton. Or an eighth. Chambliss is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And Lorenzo brings up the point. See, we've talked about amalgamation. And so, yes, Lorenzo has never heard discussion of manure tons on a Fortnite stream. Boy, even I weigh more than 125. How are colors? I believe it's random. So today you're purple. Lorenzo most of the time is green. Today he's orange. Epic Dave is green. I think it depends on who comes in when in the chat. Pitch to Chambliss. Popped up. Downing takes off the mask. Goes into foul territory. And there's 1 away. For Craig Nettles is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. But yeah, that would be a ton if you weighed 125 times 16. So it's more than your average ton. And don't forget, thank you, sir. You're not always red, Robbie. A metric ton, of course, is 1,000 kilograms. Pitch to Nettles is into left field. Rudy will go back to make the catch. And, of course, a kilogram is 2.2 pounds. And so a metric ton is 2,200 pounds. Like a baker's dozen, absolutely. Who knew that someone would guess the magic word of manure ton? By God, not even I knew that. Tomato, tomato, potato, potato. Let's call the whole thing off. Usually because you're the first one here, Robbie. Cliff Johnson is 1 for 2. He is singled and struck out. 2 outs, top of the 7th. 7-2 Angels. And Johnson draws a walk. So that's the third from Tanana. He has fanned a season-high 12. And that'll bring up Bucky Dent, who is 2-run single in the second, put the Yankees on the board, and that was that. Got himself a strikeout, too. Tanana's pitch. In the third, Lansford over to Gritch, and that will retire the side. Stretch time, 7-2 Angels. Excuse me. And again, remember to go to your nearest Del Taco and get some Farmer John Dodger dogs so your farmer can always be in the Del. Oh, Dave, I don't sing much of that at all. Apparently, I heard this story the other day. Someone put it in a comment from when I did a White Sox game last week or whenever it was. I'm 4 or 5 days behind putting stuff in. Bostock, by the way, 1 for 3. Single, grounded into a double play and scored. Apparently, Harry Carey always would sing it. And one day, Bill Veck, as in Wreck, hit a microphone under Harry's chair. And so when they heard Harry singing it, they knew that the crowd at Comiskey could sing it as well. Because I think I asked if he started that in Chicago or if that was an Oakland or St. Louis thing. And so I got my answer. Pitch to Bostock from Clay is a ground ball up the middle. Randolph over to Chambliss for the out. Maybe the next time we do a game at Fenway. Joe Rudy is 1 for 3. His solo shot put the Angels on the board in the second. 7 runs, 12 hits, and error for California. They've left 4 on. The Yankees, 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors, and they've left 4 on. Rudy is 1 for 3. Pitch from Clay. And there's a liner in the left center field. Rudy will take a single. And that's the 13th hit for California. Brings up Don Baylor, who's had himself a whale of a day. If this was the East Coast, we'd said that about Fudgy the Whale from Carvel Ice Cream, but we're not. We're out west. Baylor now has 15 homers and 44 RBI. Clay's pitch, Baylor into left field. Is this number 3? No, but that will hit the top of the wall. Piniella will gather it. Rudy will try and score. Piniella throws it back in the infield, and Baylor has himself his 5th RBI. It's 7-2, and that'll do it for Kenny. 64 pitches, 3 2/3 innings, 6 hits at least, and 2 strikeouts. Raleigh Eastwick coming in. We got a pitching change. This game coming to you from Anaheim Stadium in Anaheim, California. Yep, Epic Dave has the story right. He heard the same thing. Harry was such a horrible singer that Veck, the brass, in Dave's case, decided that nobody would be embarrassed to join in. Now, Harry, of course, would always drink the most pure of beverages during the game. Eastwick, by the way, making his 9th appearance. He'll be gone in 5 days. 2-0 with a 2.12 ERA. How appropriate for New York. His last time out was the 5th against Seattle. He went 2 innings and had a strikeout. Excuse me. Always sneeze into their pillows, okay? He has thrown 17 innings, allowed 15 hits, 1 homer. He 4 runs allowed and all earned. He walked 3 and struck out 8. Robbie, you really don't know that story? He is a fastball pitcher at 86, and he's your standard ground ball, fly ball pitcher. Harry Carey was the very definition of someone who drank on the job. Ron Jackson 1 for 3 with a single. Baylor on second. Eastwick's pitch. Pop foul behind the plate. Well, when he was with the Cardinals, they were, of course, owned by Budweiser and August Busch before he dipsied his doodle in Augie's daughter. Falstaff beer at first, and then Budweiser. I mean, it was not uncommon at the time for the presenting sponsors of broadcast, especially on radio, to be beer companies. And Falstaff before Busch bought the Cardinals, and then Busch or Budweiser afterwards. So there was plenty of sponsors product going around the booth, and so Harry would drink. And then he got banished to Oakland for a year, and then to Chicago, and it's baseball, and those teams weren't that great, and you had to pass the time doing something. And hi, Harry Carey here. I'm a Cub fan and a Bud man. 3-2, the count to Ron Jackson. You know, someone who's just coming into one of these streams must think that Sybil and I have conversations over the course of a ball game. Runner on second, pitch to Jackson, ground ball to third. Nettles looks Baylor back, throws to Chambliss for the out. You just pretend it's like an old AM radio and another station would pop in, you know? Big moment in the game, and Bob Murphy would be talking about painting his word picture. And those of us who lived in Vermont, of course, 1050 WHN shared the dial with 1050 Chum out of Toronto. You need to get some sort of Madonna song going on. And Murph always, of course, did play-by-play in the past tense. Good and threw that curveball. He slid into second. And then, Holiday, it will be so fun. Connie Lansford, I can't do that, is 1 for 3. Baylor on second, 2 out, 8-2, California. And Lansford, a ground ball to dent deep in the hole, throws to first to retire the side. The Angels get another run on 2 hits and no errors. Wow, that tickle just made my eyes water. We played 7, and by God, you're all still here. California 8, the Yankees 2. So top of the lineup for Tanana, 27 batters, 120 pitches, 7 innings, 4 hits. He has walked 3. Both the Yankee runs are earned, and struck out a season high at 12. So Rivers has taken the collar. He has struck out all 3 times. Lorenzo is seriously considering an exit strategy. Just saying. So what part of that presentation didn't you like? All right, Dave, always good to have you along. Dave, by the way, does a wonderful weekly series on YouTube discussing his Christianity, if you're into that sort of thing, and how he came across and how he deals with it. So, Dave Little, always worth a follow on the Epic Sports Broadcasting Network. We look forward to his next basketball replay. Pitch to Rivers is a ground ball, base hit right side. Rivers is going for 3. That got down in the corner. Landro's got a good arm, but that won't do anything. And so it's a leadoff triple. And that'll, no problem. That will bring up Willie Randolph. He was singled and walked and struck out. And with a 6-run lead, you can give Tanana a little bit of room here, but not much. Downing and Tanana have a few words. Frank's born again, too, by the way. Randolph up the middle. Rivers should score. Grich takes the shore out at first, and there's 1 away. For Thurman Munson, who's 0 for 3, he has struck out twice and grounded into a double play. Tanana delivers, and there's a line drive to right, and that will do it for Frank. So the tank has hit E, but he's going to lead this game after 7 1/3 with an 8-3 lead. He can't lose it. He can win it. And Paul Hartzell, right? Yeah, he can go. Is coming in. We got a pitching change this game coming to you from Anaheim Stadium. Hartzell has struggled. It means he's tired. This is his 16th appearance of the year. He does not have a record. His ERA is .583. He's a ground ball pitcher. And he throws it at 85, the fastball at 85. He went 2 nights ago against Oakland through 2 1/3 innings, 2 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. 29 1/3 overall, 34 hits, 3 home runs allowed, 19 runs all earned. He's walked 9 and struck out 10. John E., how you doing, Braves for Life? Nice to have you along. He'll face Reggie Jackson with 1 out. Munson on first. Reggie 1 for 3. Is struck out twice and singled. Up the middle, Hartzell to second for 1. Gritch over to Jackson, and Jackson beats out Jackson. And Munson actually had the roadblock slide. So it just deflected enough so Reggie beat out the tag from Ron, and there's 2 out. For Lou Piniella, who's 0 for 2. He has walked and scored. 8-3, 2 outs, top of the 8th. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Yankees. They've left 4 on so far. The Angels, 8 runs, 14 hits, and an error. And they've stranded 5. Don Baylor, if you joined us late, 2 home runs, 5 RBI in the afternoon. Pitch from Hartzell. Piniella. Gritch dives in the hole. He throws to first, and that will retire the side. The Yankees get the Tanana too little too late. A run on 2 hits and no errors. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 8-3 Angels. So Chalk, Downing, and Landreau to face Raleigh Eastwick. Chalk has got a double and a strikeout. He's 1 for 3. Thanks for the bits, Lorenzo. Chalk lines that one into left field. And that's the 15th Angel hit. You should. I probably will break down and buy the roster projection at some point because we don't know if we're going to have a season. And that might be the project for next season. The lost year. I like the game. It's, of course, newly patched. It's compatible with every season that you have. 2019 season's kind of fun. The rosters, Robbie, by the way, I saw were anywhere between 30 and 50 for the game, so you can pretty much make whoever you want on your 25. Brian Downing is 2 for 3. He singled twice and scored. And the rumor I saw the other day is, if and when we play the 2020 season, that the rosters could be 29. Just because of the amount of doubleheaders. Ground ball to Chambliss. Flips it to Dent for 1. Back over to Eastwick. Downing does not have great speed, and that's a double play. There's 2 out. So 3-6-1 on the twin killing, and Eastwick will take that 8 times out of 7. Brings up Landreau, who has had a homer today. His first of the year. He's now driven in 6. And don't forget, after the game is over, we'll play the rest of the day in baseball. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh from Riverfront is tomorrow's game at noon. Pitch to Landreau. Right back up the box. Throw to first to retire the side. You're going to need that anyway because of prospects and stuff. So 1 run for the Angels on a hit and no errors. We go to the top of the 9th. Paul Hartzell trying to close this out. 8-3 Halos. So Chambliss, Nettles, and Johnson here. Chambliss 0 for 3 with a strikeout. I've never used the projection disc. I would imagine they'd have 30, 35 players on them anyway. Injuries and stuff. There you go. John's enjoying OOTP 21. Waiting to start his 20 Braves franchise. Good couple years. I like Snicker. I was covering the Nats when he took over in Atlanta, and by God did they play hard for him. And you can question how much talent the Braves really have, and they do have talent. They've made the playoffs his first 2 full years. But they just play their tushies off for him. Pitch to Chambliss. Ground ball to Gritch to start the top of the 9th. Throw to first for the out. Craig Nettles is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Dave Gardner's support chat tonight at 7 Eastern Time on his channel. Dave, I'm sure myself, maybe some others. You're just looking for something to do to keep your mind off of things. Dave's got the goods tonight at 7 Eastern right here, or on his channel, not right here. The Ratcast. Craig Nettles is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Pitch from Hartzell. There's a line drive foul, third base side. Somebody from Anaheim, a hometown kid, makes the catch, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes. Hartzell from the line. Nettles lines it right to Lansford. So 2 out. and the Yankees are down to their last out. Well, the Angels did put up 8 runs, although you cannot get a free taco. You can get a quarter taco at any participating Del Taco tomorrow morning. No, not really. Del Taco. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Cliff Johnson has walked, singled, and struck out. Our digital dice player of the game is going to be Don Baylor. 3 for 4 with 2 homers and 5 RBI. Hartzell deals into left. Rudy will track it down, and the Angels win 8-3. So there you have it. 8 runs, 15 hits, and an error for California. 3 runs, 6 hits, and no errors for the Yankees. Not a good one for the Yankees. If the Red Sox are up in Seattle, they can gain some ground. We'll find out in a minute. Figueroa was chased out in the third. 2 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs. All earned, 3 homers and a strikeout. He had plus stuff, and the Angels just pounded him. Ken Clay, a good relief outing. 3 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, all earned, a homer. And he struck out 2. 66 pitches for him. Raleigh Eastwick retired for the 5 batters he faced. Frank Tanana goes to 8-1, 7 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He walked 3 and struck out 12. Do I do both teams here? No, unless it's the Red Sox, and I manage the Red Sox, I always manage the home team. And Strat, when I'm playing by myself, I'll do both. But for here, I trust the AI. The AI usually makes good decisions. Alrighty. Come on. Close. So you'll see me here for a second. It's a busy, busy day in baseball. Let's play it for you. So Tanana struck out 12. Good day for Baylor. Hey, the Dennis Lamp threw a 4-hit shutout. The Cubs beat the Padres 1-0. Dave Kingman with his 8th of the year. Come on. The Giants beat the Mets behind Bob Neppert at 6-2. Darrell Evans, his 4th of the year. Jerry Koosman goes to 5-5. Minnesota 2, Cleveland 1. Jeff Son goes to 7-4. The Dodgers behind Tommy John beat Montreal 3-1. Detroit 8, Kansas City 7, so a double goodie for California. Darryl Porter, no, I can't be Darryl Porter. Oh yeah, he is, had a homer, his 7th. Jack Bellingham gets the win, he goes to 3-5. From Three Rivers, not Riverfront, Cincinnati beat Pittsburgh 4-2. Paul Moscow goes to 4-1. Dan Dreesen with his 6th of the year. Philadelphia beats Atlanta. Gene Garber, about to go to Atlanta, gets the win in 12. He goes to 3-0. Milwaukee down Toronto 5-1. Mike Caldwell goes to 7-3. Houston's winning streak goes to 13. They're in St. Louis. J.R. Richard goes to 4-4. Texas down Chicago 4-1. Doc Medich goes to 2-3. Richie Zisk with his 10th home run of the year. The Red Sox beat the Mariners 3-1. Louis Tiant goes to 4-2. Paul Mitchell goes to the hair salon. He goes to 3-6. And lastly, Baltimore 3, Oakland 2. Eddie Murray with his 11th home run of the year. So standings before we go. Pittsburgh by 2.5 over Philly, 4 over Montreal. The Dodgers stay a half game up on Houston, although the Astros have won 13 straight. Yankees 2.5 over Baltimore. Here come the Brewers. They're 4 back, and the Red Sox 5. And Kansas City's lead over California drops to 1.5 games. Join us tonight on Dave Gardner's channel for Support Chat for a Sunday night, approximately 7 o'clock Eastern. Tomorrow, baseball, Reds and Pirates from Three River Stadium, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, and about 4 or 5 days later on YouTube. I'm Ron Zuckett. Be good to each other and to yourself. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.